It started with an early flight home. I had been away for 3 days on business in Munich. The last meeting wrapped up earlier than expected. So instead of staying the extra night, I caught the earliest flight back. I didn't tell Lena. I wanted to surprise her. That's the cruel part, isn't it? You think you're about to do something sweet. You think you're about to walk into your home, drop your suitcase, pull your wife into your arms, and kiss her like you mean it. Instead, you walk into hell. It was past midnight when I pulled up to the house. The lights were still on. That wasn't odd. Lena often fell asleep with the TV on, curled up on the couch, wrapped in one of my sweatshirts. I smiled at the thought. She's going to be so happy to see me. I let myself in quietly, setting my suitcase by the door. The house smelled like red wine and vanilla candles. Then I noticed her heels near the sofa. At first, I thought nothing of it. But then I saw something else. A second pair of shoes. Men's shoes. Too big to be mine. My heart stopped. A strange, ice-cold sensation crawled up my spine. I moved forward, my footsteps silent. The bedroom door was half open, a sliver of warm light spilling into the hallway. Then I heard it. A soft sigh. A man's sigh. That's when I saw them. I wish I could erase it. Erase what I saw. Lena, my wife, curled up on a man's chest, her fingers resting lightly on his stomach. His arm was slung around her waist, holding her close. They were asleep, fast asleep, like they had been doing this for a long time, like this wasn't some mistake, some drunken accident, like this was routine. I felt my pulse hammering in my ears. I took a slow step forward. The floor creaked under my weight. Lena stirred, her eyelids fluttering open slightly. She saw me, and for a moment, just a fraction of a second, she didn't even look surprised. Lena blinked, groggy. Then it hit her. Her eyes widened. Jack, she stammered, pushing herself up. The man beside her grunted in his sleep. I reached behind me, unclipping the holster of my handgun. She saw the movement. She froze. Jack, she whispered. Please, let me explain. I pulled out the gun, clicked off the safety, then, without breaking eye contact, slammed my foot into her lover's ribs. The bastard jerked awake. What the? He gasped, just as my fist connected with his jaw. He was thrown backward onto the bed, blood splattering against my sheets. Lena screamed. Jack, stop! She shrieked, scrambling to cover herself. I ignored her. The man, her affair partner, her pathetic excuse for a lover, rolled onto his side, groaning. Jesus Christ, he mumbled, dazed. What the hell? I raised the gun just enough for him to see it. You have 5 minutes to leave, I said, my voice like ice, or I'll shoot you both. He didn't hesitate. He scrambled up, barely managing to pull on his pants. Lena grabbed my wrist. Jack, please, let's talk. I turned to her so fast she flinched. Talk. I echoed. You think we're past the point of talking? Her eyes filled with tears. It's not what you think. I laughed. A sharp, humorless sound. Not what I think. I gestured toward the bloodied mess of a man still fumbling with his shoes. The coward finally spoke. Listen, man, he said, voice shaking. I don't want any trouble. I stepped forward, pressing the barrel of the gun against his forehead. Then you should have kept your dick out of my wife. He turned pale. I took a step back, keeping my grip steady. Out. Now. He bolted, didn't even grab his shirt. I watched as he sprinted down the hall, half-dressed, bleeding, shaking. Lena didn't move. I slowly turned back to her. Her lip trembled. Jack, I made a mistake. I exhaled through my nose, shaking my head. No, Lena, you made a choice, and now you live with it. She sobbed. I slid my gun back into the holster and stepped closer. Lena, I said softly, you have 5 minutes to get your things and leave. She hiccuped a sob. Jack, please, where am I supposed to go? I smiled. Not my problem. She broke. I stood there, watching the woman I once loved fall apart. Then I turned and walked away. I once loved and then fell apart. For the first time, I felt nothing, and that's when I realized this wasn't enough. She didn't just deserve to be kicked out. She deserved to be destroyed. The morning after I threw Lena and her coward lover out, I sat in my kitchen, drinking coffee in perfect silence. The house felt different, cleaner, lighter. I should have been feeling rage, grief, maybe even regret. But I didn't. I felt peace. Then my phone rang. I glanced at the screen. Her father. I smirked, already knowing what was coming. I let it ring once, twice, 3 times. Finally, I picked up. Jack. His voice boomed through the speaker, laced with fury. What the hell did you do to my daughter? I took a slow sip of my coffee. Good morning to you too, Richard. I said evenly. Don't you dare play it cool with me, he snapped. You threw my daughter out of her home in the middle of the night. After laying hands on another man. Are you out of your goddamn mind? I leaned back in my chair, tapping my fingers on the wooden surface. Oh, I don't know, Richard, I said, my voice dripping with sarcasm. Maybe you should ask Lena why I did it. Silence, then a sharp inhale. She told me her side. He said, voice quieter now. She's devastated, Jack. She wants to come home. She's willing to work this out, to fix things. I laughed, a cold, humorless sound. Fix things? I repeated, you think this is something you can fix? Jack, listen. No, you listen. I cut him off, my voice turning hard. Your daughter screwed another man in my bed in my house while I was away providing for her. And you think I'm the villain for kicking her out? Richard tried again. I understand you're hurt, but Jack, she's your wife. I snapped. No, Richard. She was my wife. But she stopped being that the second she chose someone else. Silence. Then a sigh. So that's it then, he murmured. You're really going through with a divorce? Damn right I am, I said. And trust me, I'm taking everything. Richard let out a bitter chuckle. She's my daughter, Jack. I have to take her side. I smirked. Then I suggest you get ready to watch her crash and burn. Then I hung up, and the real revenge began. Lena had never worked a day in her life. She married me when she was 23, fresh out of college. I was already making 6 figures, and she saw me as her golden ticket. I paid for everything, her clothes, luxury brands, her vacations, first-class getaways. Her car, a brand-new Mercedes. That ended today. Step 1. I contacted my bank and froze all joint accounts. Step 2. I canceled all credit cards in her name. Step 3. I changed the locks on the house. Within hours, she went from a pampered wife to a broke, homeless cheat. Lena was proud of her image. She thrived on the admiration of her friends, the envy of other women, the praise from her high society circle. I was about to shatter that. I gathered all the evidence. Screenshots of her texts with her lover, hotel receipts, security camera footage. Then I did something that would haunt her forever. I sent the entire file to her parents, her closest friends, her brother. And to top it all off, I uploaded it anonymously to her social media circles. Within hours, her entire world crumbled. Her friends turned on her. Her family was ashamed. Her reputation? Destroyed beyond repair. But I wasn't just going to ruin Lena. I was going to destroy the coward she slept with. His name? Mark Jennings. Married. 2 kids. A family man, until now. I sent every piece of evidence to his wife. The texts, the videos, the hotel receipts. She filed for divorce immediately. Took the kids. Took the house. Took everything. And Mark? He was left with nothing. Just like Lena. A week later, I was having a drink at a bar when someone slid into the seat across from me. I looked up. Lena. She looked like hell. No makeup, cheap clothes, hair a mess. A far cry from the glamorous woman I once knew. Jack, she whispered, eyes shining with tears. I took a sip of my drink. Lena. She exhaled shakily. I have nothing left. I said nothing. Her hands trembled. I lost my friends. My family barely speaks to me. I can't even get a job because everyone knows. I studied her, the woman who laughed at me, lied to me, betrayed me. Now she was just a pathetic shell of herself. Jack, she begged, please, I have nowhere to go. I smirked, leaning in close. You wanted another man. I murmured, go find him. Tears spilled down her cheeks. He left me, Jack. He never wanted me for more than... I held up a hand. I don't care. She flinched. I smiled. Then I whispered the final words she would ever hear from me. Rot in hell, Lena. Then I walked away. And I never looked back. Lena lost everything. Her lover, divorced, broke and alone. Her reputation, gone. Me? I thrived. I rebuilt. I moved on. I found someone who actually deserved me. Because in the end, she played a game. And I won.